The following document was received by the Office of Anomaly Safety on the evening of October 8th from a 15-year-old boy named Ethan Cole, resident of Zone 7A. His letter was handwritten across 4 pieces of lined paper, the ink faded and water-warped, with sections rewritten over themselves multiple times. The envelope had no return address and was sealed with electrical tape. By the time the letter reached our desk, the case was already concluded. The words that follow may serve as a warning. To whoever finds this, there's someone in my house pretending to be my sister. But I don't have a sister. It started small. One night, I woke up and saw a figure standing in the hallway, just out of view, like it was leaning against the doorframe. I thought it was Mom, but when I whispered her name, the figure tilted its head slowly. It didn't answer. It just watched. I turned on my lamp, and it was gone. Eyewitness descriptions of hallway figures are consistent with presence class anomalies. These entities often appear at night, initially silent and immobile to acclimate to their environment. Victims frequently report confusion, blurred memory, or an inability to recall how long the figure remained visible. The letter continues. The next morning, I noticed something was wrong at breakfast. Mom placed 4 plates on the table. She sat one right next to me. When I asked her why, she frowned. "Don't tease your sister, Ethan. She's hungry too." There was no one sitting there. I looked at Dad, but he nodded like this was normal, like she had always been here. Neighbors confirmed. The Coles had only one child. There were no medical or legal records of a daughter. Despite this, both parents insisted they'd raised a girl named Abigail, describing her as quiet and always keeping to herself. Ethan's letter further says, she started showing up more after that. At first, just in the corners of my eye, by the hallway mirror, behind me in the glass of the microwave door. When I turned, she would vanish, but her reflection always stayed half a second longer. Sometimes I catch her smiling. It's not a real smile, it's wide and too long, like she's practicing. Dad bought her clothes the next day, a pale yellow dress, children's shoes. He laid them out on the couch, like he expected her to wear them. Mom brushed the air beside her chair at night, humming softly, like she was untangling someone's hair. Over the next 72 hours, neighbors reported the Coles behaving abnormally. Curtains drawn shut at all times. Lights on at odd hours. Family members standing motionless on the porch for extended periods. Doorbell camera footage from a neighbor briefly captured a 4th figure entering the house at 3:11 a.m. The footage corrupted immediately after. Ethan continues. I tried asking my parents again. I said, "I don't have a sister." Mom's smile dropped. She looked at me like I had said something cruel. "Of course you do," she whispered. "She's been here longer than you." Dad's eyes looked glassy, unfocused. He muttered, "You shouldn't say things that upset her." That night, I heard 2 voices whispering through my wall. My mom's and hers. They were talking about me. They said I'd forget soon enough. The entity appeared to be embedding itself into the family's memory structure. Pretender class anomalies often exploit recognition loops. The more they are acknowledged, the stronger their hold becomes. Ethan's resistance likely destabilized this process, forcing the entity to focus directly on him. She doesn't blink right. She stares until my eyes water, and I look away. Sometimes I wake up to hear her nails scratching lightly on my bedroom door. Sometimes she knocks, 3 times, perfectly spaced like she knows it makes me freeze. Yesterday, I found a note under my pillow. The handwriting looked like mine, but jagged. It said, "You forgot me once. Don't do it again." This phrase suggests long-term exposure to similar anomalies may erase or overwrite prior experiences. It is possible Ethan had already undergone partial memory restructuring before recognition broke through. I tried writing down the truth. On paper, I wrote, "I have no sister." When I looked at it later, the words had changed. It said, "I love my sister. I burned it in the sink." But the ashes didn't stay still. They shifted, pulling into the shape of letters before scattering apart. That night, I saw her outside, standing under the streetlight, her head tilted up at my window. The light flickered once. She was gone when it came back. Agents arrived at the Cole residence. All windows covered in black plastic bags. Front door chained from the inside. a rhythmic knocking sound coming from the second floor, consistent with cardiac pacing. The family did not respond to calls or forced entry attempts. My parents don't act like themselves anymore. Their eyes look dull, like they're tired but never sleep. They've started setting an extra chair in the living room. Mom sits beside it, talking softly to the empty space. Dad just nods. Our dog ran away 2 nights ago. I heard her laugh when it happened. A sharp, broken laugh. Now the house feels wrong all the time. The air feels heavy. The walls feel too close. She's been standing in the hallway for hours. Watching. 13 hours now. I can't sleep. I'm afraid if I close my eyes, she'll be closer when I open them. Mom says she only wants to see me one last time, but I don't remember what she ever looked like. Please, tell them I never had a sister. When agents re-entered the home on October 12th, they found evidence of violent struggle. 3 sets of remains identified, 2 adults and 1 adolescent female of unstable facial structure. No trace of Ethan was recovered. Only a folded set of clothing was found on his bed, neatly arranged. A torn sheet of paper contained 3 names. Mom, Dad, Abigail. The 4th name had been erased and rewritten until the paper tore through. This incident marks the first documented household infiltration of a pretender anomaly evolving into a presence class manifestation. Traditionally, these entities exist at the periphery of human life, seen in streets, woods, or abandoned buildings. To fully inhabit a home, to rewrite its family structure, represents an escalation. Ethan's resistance may have delayed total integration, but ultimately, the anomaly succeeded. The sister was observed maintaining physical form long after neutralization, suggesting adaptation. If you ever suspect the presence of a family member you cannot remember, take the following precautions immediately. Write down the names of every person in your home. Keep the list in plain sight, refrigerator, bathroom mirror, bedside. Do not engage in conversation with unlisted individuals. Speaking their name accelerates their influence. Do not confront or threaten the entity. Awareness can provoke escalation. If your family begins to acknowledge a person you know does not exist, contact the nearest OAS branch immediately. Remember, pretender anomalies cannot yet replicate written memory. Your words on paper are your strongest defense. This is Age Broadcast signing off. Stay vigilant. Stay safe.